We will be talking about AI and especially about maximizing design potential with AI. And I would like to start with the question, who of you has ever asked Siri on how the weather will be?
Or maybe ask ChatGPT to help you with an outline for a presentation?
So as you see, AI is becoming an ever more relevant part in our private and our work lives. And we here at Ginetta, as creators of such digital experiences, we do so in a human-centric way. And for us, the question arises,
is AI driving us away from being human-centric in the way we craft experiences? Well, we'll guide you through this question throughout our presentation. But first, let's define together what human-centric stands for and what AI is.
So the human-centered design process you've probably heard of, at least when you've worked together with us. So it's our daily bread to put the user in the center and create solutions for needs of people. And it might something look like this. So we identify real problems for the user, or the user has. We generate lots of ideas and potential solutions, and then we prototype and hear from the people we're designing for. And until here, it's probably pretty clear, we hope. But what about AI?
Well, AI stands for artificial intelligence. And the way it works, really simply put, is you start off with a database that could be composed by images, text, etc. Then you would feed that data set into a machine learning model, in which that's like the bit in which you're creating actually this artificial intelligence. And then you would have some form of output depending on what input you trained your model with. So plainly put, it's a machine doing math and giving us back an answer that we can comprehend.
So, but you might ask, how do these things fit together? So there have been a lot of AI models popping out in the past. You've probably all heard of them. And with them rising up, there have been a lot of hopes, fears, and also controversies with them. And we've taken the time to experience them, testing them, and see how we can use them to benefit our design process. And here's how we've been doing it. So I want to start with talking about brainstorming. So AI can be a really nice brainstorming assistant if you're stuck at some point. So during an ideation session, an often used method is brainstorming. But sometimes you get to the point where you're a bit stuck. And there are different methods where you can get out of this. So there's such as brainwriting or reverse thinking. But AI can be a help with that as well. So I want to ask you, when you think of a dating app, what kind of feature would come to your mind? Just out of the blue, swiping. Yeah, that sounds pretty legit. I mean, this is something we're familiar with. Is there anything else? Interest. That's a good one. So AI came up with something like a compatibility quiz. And this sounds good, that sounds legit, but this sounds also something that we've come up with as well. But if we ask it again, we get something like date ideas based on interests and location. And that sounds a bit more interesting. So it sparks something in me and it thinks a bit beyond what we've usually would thought about first. Finding ideas or places to go to is a pain point, and we can take that idea now and take it even further.
Another example we want to guide you through is in the context of storytelling. So while we're empathizing with the people that we're designing for, we tend to create artifacts such as personas, storyboards, among others. And in the process of doing that, we need visual support. So we might go look for stock pictures, illustrations that already exist somewhere on the internet. And if you've ever gone through this process yourself, you might have realized how hard it is to find an image that really reflects what you wanted to communicate. And, well, we found that AI could be a good partner in that. So in this example right here, you can see how some colleague of ours worked on a project where they created those beautiful illustrations. And they were working with a persona that was a pet owner. And in this scenario, they really helped the team and the client empathize with the situation in which this product would be used. And they even projected a vision for the whole product's future.
Another way where AI can help us is with visual inspiration. So after we understand the problem we want to solve, we try to visualize it. And this is a beautiful process, but sometimes we're also tending to get into a direction that is not like thinking outside the box. That's why if you think about the apps and websites you use on your daily life, they look all a bit familiar. And this is due to many reasons. There are reasonable reasons like UX patterns, accessibility, a common language. But there's still in every product so much room to visually explore and go beyond the known. And I want to give you an example. We had for a project when we worked for a clean energy provider. And if I say clean energy provider, you would probably think about, okay, when it comes to colors, we should go with green or blue, something like clean and pure. But it turned out to be that also these warm colors can give the whole thing a totally new dimension. So we've been able to extract these colors and created a very nice color palette out of it that we took even further and created or co-created with AI some illustrations in the style we would like them. So in this isometric 3D cartoon style palette, which is super cool, and it sparks like inspiration, and we can take this now and come up with the illustration language on our own.
So once we have visualized the solution that fits our target users' needs, we will want to hear from the people that we're designing for. And the way we would do that is by conducting, for example, some usability tests. So how many of you have participated in a usability test before? Okay, that's quite some. You might have stumbled across lorem ipsum text before, unfortunately. So for those of you who don't know what it stands for, it's placeholder text that designers use in the phase where we are defining the overall layout of our product. And it's not best practice, actually, and there's a lot of reasons behind that, but the one we're focusing on right now is because it could actually mess up with your usability test results. And, you know, lorem ipsum is a placeholder, so it's not real text and it doesn't convey the feeling of a real product, but we could use AI to generate really quickly some text that could feel real enough. So we could go from this to this and make sure that in our usability tests, we focus on the usability and not getting stuck in some lorem ipsum that got lost along the way. So here we illustrated a couple of examples of how we've used AI to support our process. You might have noticed how we did that as curators. So we used AI as a tool to support us in the things that we usually do along our process of designing digital experiences. And we strongly believe that as curators, we got a good result because we did curate that output from a place of expertise.
So to come back to our initial question, is AI driving us away from being human-centric? We have a clear answer to that? No. So, well, not really. So we've been using AI as a tool to support us in our processes, and as any tool or technology, it can be used for good or for bad. And as long as we keep the human in the center of everything we do, we should be in the good and the right place. So it's up to us to continue interacting with such powerful technologies in the way they help us and help us create this to aim for our goal here at Ginetta to create digital excellence.